I just can't take no pleasure in killing. Just some things you gotta do. Don't mean you have to like.
I like to dissect girls. Did you know I'm utterly insane?
You want to know what happens to an eyeball when it gets punctured? You got any idea how much blood jets out of a guy's neck when his throat's been slit?
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
What up, everyone? DJ Anubis here with you on the Metal Time Radio podcast with my brother from another ghoul mother, Mr. Tony the fucking Dead. We are the Ghouls of Midnight. And what we do on this channel and show is alternate picks. We go and review movies, past or present, and give our thoughts on it. Sometimes they live up to expectations, sometimes they don't. But my pick was this time around, and I chose 1981's The Night of the Werewolf.
Mm-hmm.
Now, funny enough, I actually bought this, and I started watching this one. This is the uncut version. And at first, I couldn't find whether or not it was dubbed because I was kind of busy doing other things too. So I ended up going back to YouTube because they or Tubi because they had the dub version there. So I just kind of watched it through that. But I got to go back and at least watch this because this apparently is the uncut version. So I need to find out what's missing from the other one.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, I discovered this film because sometimes when I go to bed late at night, I'll just throw on Tubi while we're both sleeping, and I'll be in and out throughout the night. And I'll wake up and I'll be like, "Oh, that kind of looks interesting." I have to like save that in my list. And so, the first one I came across was a film called The Werewolf versus Vampire Woman from 1971, and surprisingly or not surprisingly, stars Paul Naschy. And so I watched this one, really liking it. Now this is black and white; it's a little bit more atmospheric than this one. But this one, what made it so interesting was that this one is basically a remake of that other one. It's just called a different name. But the film stars Paul Naschy as Waldemar Danisky. You have Julie Saley as Elizabeth Bathory, Sylvia Aguilar as Erica, Sina Hernandez as Karen, Beatriz Elarita as Micaiah. And then this was the debut for Pilar Alcon as Barbara. And then there's some other people in here as well. I told people this when I was doing my unboxing that these films are generally ones I don't really care about too much because it's as far as the werewolf's concerned, it's just your Wolfman type of look. So I don't really like that look too much. But for me, it's the way that they're written and the way they're directed that I kind of like the whole story more than like whatever's going on. Maybe the vampires look pretty cool, but the story is basically about it's a Spanish horror film. I guess it's like the 9th and the 12th film series about werewolf, about the same character. So when I was doing research, I saw that Paul does a lot of werewolf films of the same nature. So it's kind of shocking. I'd never really heard of him tell this. And so he's been in the horror genre for a while. But he's basically playing this count who is eventually put down, and I forget what century it is, but
I don't know, but they burned them at the stake for being witches. So whatever.
Yeah,
time
so
period
so he was like kind of. I guess he was married to Elizabeth Bathory, or they were together, and then they ended up killing her. And then they put him in this like metal mask, and then put this iron or a steel cross in his chest. So with the steel cross in his chest, because it's silver, he can't transform and he just dies. Like but he can stay in like he can't really die, but it will keep him unanimated.
Yeah.
So then we fast forward to sort of the modern day, at least during this time would be the 80s, and got some younger people, younger girls who are traveling, and then they end up coming across this castle, or I should say, they come first to this like cafe, and then they're overheard by some thugs that want to like do nefarious things to them.
Yeah.
And then as they traveling, they get jumped, and these guys, they're really bad at raping and stuff, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
And the other thing is too, one of our girls who pulls the gun, like instead of just shooting the dude dead to rights, she like hesitates, and then he's like knocking it out of her hands to the point that she ends up putting herself in dire straits. But then somebody walks up and shoots him with arrows with a crossbow. So what are your thoughts early on with what you're seeing with the film?
Well, I like the very beginning with the whole, burn them at the, they're going to be tortured and then buried
or something.
Something like just like the way they're going to like, they're going to be buried alive until they're dead. It's like, oh my God. And then like him with the mask and like that. And then it's just like, they don't show, I mean, I don't know if it shows on the uncut version, but Tubi, I could tell they cut the violence a little bit quick.
Yeah.
But I it's crazy how they're, being tried for that stuff. And then, you don't really understand what's going on. Like, I thought they were all werewolves at first. I didn't realize they were, he was the only one. But yes, it was an interesting beginning. The girls are gorgeous in this. like
yes.
absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, it
And that's the thing about the other movie too. Even though it's from '71, even the actresses in that one are very attractive. Like they did a good job of casting, for what they were doing.
So this is the first time I've ever seen one of his movies, but I've heard of him before. I know Scream Factory has like 2 or 3 Paul Naschy collections.
Yeah,
So,
I saw they do have like his like best of or whatever.
yeah. So I've never seen. I don't know if I really want to watch them. I've never had interest before, but yeah, interesting beginning. Kept my, got your attention right away. I tell you that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he is. I kind of forgot how he was brought back to life initially. Well, actually, I believe it's this chick, but then again, maybe I'm a little sketchy. But this one is a chick that's been kind of like a loyal servant to him.
Yeah.
So she carries the blade. It's like the silver cross. So he's been resurrected. Oh, what it was there's a couple of guys that were trying to rob his grave or something, and so they ended up pulling the cross out, and he ended up waking and killing them in the process. So that's how he was resurrected.
Yeah.
The only thing I can guess with this chick is that he might have hurt her in his wolf form, but because he cared about her, or at some point she just became like a loyal servant. But obviously she likes him more than that because she's like that loyal. But she understands that he's attracted to a woman named Karen, which is this lady here.
Mm-hmm.
So reasons why. But there's another girl in the group that's really interested in the Elizabeth Bathory part of that backstory with him because they're both tied together, but she's more interested in Bathory, which is basically our girl here who ends up getting resurrected later on.
Mm-hmm.
And
she looks just like this woman that lives down the street.
Oh, really?
Just like her.
So honestly. Now you're gonna be all paranoid.
I never see her anymore, and maybe I should drive by at night. She'll be out.
Right. Yeah, and the thing that was very interesting about both movies, I had to bring up the other one because they are one's a remake of the other one, but the other one's more about atmosphere and the black and white and just how that works. But this one, it wasn't afraid to get gory at all. Like even though we didn't see probably everything that we should have. I do like the setup. This is where they're basically trying to resurrect Bathory by dropping blood into the face, and she then becomes a vampire and starts biting everybody, all the chicks, and Ken, you probably don't hate that, but
no.
But I always found the funnier thing was because, like I said, I'm used to my werewolves being more wolf than man, but this dude looks like a pussycat.
I know you like the howling look on a werewolf, right?
Yeah.
I don't mind either one. You could tell he definitely had a homage to like the original Werewolf in this. Like transformation thing.
Yeah. Even in the other film, it's the same way. It's almost the same look. But I think he was the one that ended up directing this one, so he kind of just wanted to update it, I guess, from what he did 10 years before.
Yeah.
But I found the movie pretty cool. I'll just play a little bit of the clips here, but basically he's fallen in love with Karen, and instead of like normally he's supposed to be with Elizabeth Bathory, but he didn't realize that she's been brought back to life, so now that causes problems. So, because he's in love with this other chick, and now we got Bathory who's on the loose, and she's biting people and building up her own little harem.
Mm-hmm.
And so then it comes down to where Bathory is basically trying to get rid of him because he's really the only one that can kind of really defeat her, in the end. Which I always found interesting because for him, all he has to do is pretty much bite her and tear out her throat, and then she's done. But, outside of that.
Well, I don't understand why is she in the light here? Is she why?
I think
I know the story behind her, but like they changed it for this.
Yeah, I think in this case, this is when she was still basically human, and so she was probably making sacrifices with women, and so that's sort of where the Elizabeth Bathory name came from. And then, because even in like the Castlevania animated series, when they were using the Bathory character, it was the same way. Like the woman was actually a woman who was slaughtering virgins and bathing in their blood,
Mm-hmm.
but she wasn't really superhuman. She was just a regular human, just a crazy lunatic bitch. And then in Castlevania, of course, one of the vampires made her a vampire, which then brought on a whole new persona. So I think it's kind of playing, even though this is before that time, the
Yeah.
idea is the same. Like she started out as human, got killed as a human, and then I guess the blood, once the chick like started dropping blood on her, it just made her into a vampire, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't get that part, but I guess you're just not supposed to really think about it.
Well, yeah, yeah. A lot of it is kind of weird. Just like you would think usually with the stake in the heart, because that's where they stabbed him with the cross.
Yeah.
You would think that apply more to the vampire than the actual wolf, but
Yeah. That's interesting though, like that silver cross, and then like it should. I mean, I don't know, because like in the end, then when it's like the same thing happened to him. Like she stabbed him and he like died.
yep.
It's like the same.
Yeah, but see, the thing is too is that like again, that's the other part that's weird is that he supposedly can't die through that. Like once he's been impaled, it just kind of puts him in a sleep until someone pulls it out again. But the other thing that was very curious that it happens in both movies again, he bites his love.
Mhm.
So does the werewolf curse pass on, or?
I was thinking, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would have thought, but there's never any clarification of whether or not she's going to be infected the same way he is, or if it even happens that way. Like, there's no discussion in the film about how that works,
Yeah. This
But
girl, like, she's gonna turn into a vampire, and then gets stopped.
right,
Then she gets bit by a werewolf. This girl has no luck in this movie,
right,
and her name is
yeah,
Karen. So
Karen. Yeah, it's a very interesting film. Again, I like the effects. There's that one scene. I think it was can't remember which chick was getting it, but they were just dumping blood all over, and I thought that was really great.
Oh,
I
yeah,
enjoyed that
yeah.
a lot. I initially had a longer video, but I guess the video clip didn't like fully do its job, so I didn't get to use the whole thing. But you saw only the early part of it. But it does, it's a kind of a fast movie. It's not very long. It's like 92 minutes. But I don't know. It kind of gets straight to the point, so to speak. Like it just jumps right in.
Yeah.
Which normally happens with films like that, especially in Spain, and they usually like the Italian gallows are the same way. But I don't know. I still kind of dig like some of his outfits here. I thought very knightish.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
and
it
then
was
don't they figure
go
out that like he is the original guy from back in the past, and like that
Yeah.
doesn't even bother them? It's I don't know.
Yeah, and then even Karen, like she witnesses him transforming, and somehow she's able to get away because the other girl with the burned face ends up coming with the cross and pushing him away.
Yeah.
But actually, I'm not sure if it's a burn face. It might be just a scarred from attack or something. Again,
I know
it's
she
really,
saved Karen from him once.
yeah. It's when she kind of got up in the middle of the night and was wandering down there, hearing all the noise, and he was there like trying to transform and everything.
He's like the most phlegmy werewolf I've ever heard. It's just like it's like you're trying to breathe in the middle of the night with a snot filled nose, like and it's like spit it out already, Jesus.
Yes, very much so. And the thing is too, like I didn't realize it at the time, but the soundtrack is actually one that's been used in Tentacles from 1977. So they were borrowing it from that. Yeah, I thought that was pretty crazy.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean,
So,
I'll be honest. I kind of felt it like it dragged a lot at times. Like the beginning was good, and then like you're getting to know those girls, and then I don't know, it just after they get saved, it kind of like goes downhill, and it's like very slow for me. And then
mhm,
I think the ending is good. I like the ending. But it was
yeah.
just like she just kept showing up in rooms, and he gets. I mean, how many times he gets knocked out, or like he's like, I had a dream, and then boom, gets hit with a silver cane, and it's. I'm just like, how is this girl coming in the house? And he's like, her whatever he called it, like her basically where they're staying is in the castle. How do you not know
Mhm.
that? Don't you have a good smell? Can't you smell them?
Yeah,
Like,
that's something that's never elaborated. Now, one thing I did like about the first version is that despite no gore in it, like the one thing I did like is that when it came to the vampires, they had a very floaty feel. So like it was kind of done in slow motion where they're just kind of gliding through the night.
mhm,
This one they don't really play with that too much. They throw a lot of fog up there, and the girls kind of like come within the mist, which still is kind of effective, but
yeah.
not quite as eerie as it would be from the first film. So like
Mm,
they substituted one thing that I thought was really good in that film and then kind of missed out here and did something entirely different.
yeah.
Uh, but I still like the shots a lot. It is a little bit draggy. I think it's really an editing problem. So maybe if I watch the unrated version, maybe I'll have more clarity about how it's supposed to be. But
Yeah.
we talked about it before. Tubi likes to like edit shit all the time. So
True. Yeah, it could be a Tubi edit.
Mhm.
Let's just say it is because, other than that, it's an all right movie. It's okay. You know.
Yeah, it
I like
doesn't
the
tell
look
me
of it.
like yeah, it looks great. Like I said, like when because I'd watched the other one first, and I guess when Tubi was just keep continuing to play, it went right to that one. So I'm like waking up and I'm going, this looks like the same one I just saw only colored. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I realized it looks like the same dude. Oh yeah, it is the same dude. But I kind of fell in love with both films just for different reasons. But
Mm.
yeah, it's pretty interesting nevertheless.
I'd
Again, it
like to
has
see
really
this
nothing.
one in black and white.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, this one, even it is basically the same movie. It's just done in black and white. It's a little bit different, but
Mm.
a lot of the stuff that happens is the same way. Same premise, same hot girls. Not same girls, but hot girls, and then the premise is the same with the vampire and whatnot, and just a little bit different here and there. But like I said, it's just shot differently.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I still really like it. Story's kind of not super long, as I said.
No, it's a
Kind of
pretty
just
simple story.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like Beauty and the Beast, in the end.
True.
Beauty and
Beauty
the
and the
Beast.
Beast.
We
God.
were all, we were doing the classic reflections there. Then I started with the opening comedic bit by Jim Brewer when he's talking about Slayer and he's talking about his kids and how nowadays he's domesticated. So instead of listening to Slayer, he's got to listen to the Beauty and the Beast, and his kids telling him, "It'll be okay, Daddy. The Beast is all right. He's okay." Why are you being mean to the Beast? And that's basically what this is. It's almost just like a Beauty and Beast retelling in some ways, like just with vampires and werewolves.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's kind of the hero in this, like the werewolf's the hero, even though that's the one thing that's stupid with werewolves. So like how it's like the Hulk, like they can't control them, so they don't like he didn't know who she was, just like all they know is to attack,
yeah,
and I mean it's a that's definitely a curse for sure.
right. So different than say like the Underworld series where they can control their transformations. He can't. He can't do that. So it's like all directed by the full moon. So it's like probably like once a month type thing.
Mhm.
The other thing I did like is that they do get back to how vampires can basically hypnotize their victims. Like they use the hypnotism with the eyes and everything. So that I like that. That's something that a lot of modern vampires films kind of avoid now. They just do different things or stronger or whatever. But
True.
I like that they were using the women's sexuality and hypnotism to kind of get their victims to just chill and stay in place so they can bite them.
Yeah. And she can like move items and stuff. She threw that coffin at him, like just like with like telekinesis or whatever.
Yeah.
And like when the cross was there, she's like, and then threw the blanket over it, and it was like, oh, that's cool. But that Karen, you could tell. I know she already got bit, so she's kind of like under the spell. But I think she kind of wanted to be a vampire.
Well,
She
we
seemed
know
okay
that
with
one
it.
chick that was trying to raise her certainly did. She was all about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was very happy about that. I think
Mhm.
it was this chick here. Yeah, the one main one that she was. So yeah,
I think she was the hottest one, but she was also the most annoying one. Like she like is the worst vampire. Everything is she's up to it, and ah it was like in
Buffy,
Buffy.
Paul Rubin.
Paul Rubin, yeah.
Ah,
Ah, ah.
ah.
Like her death, I'm like, oh my god, die.
Just fucking die already.
Yeah.
That's the one thing. It is different. Like they don't like explode or turn into fire or anything like that. It's just like
They had that
that's why
one.
I thought it was weird that all he had to do was basically bite her in the end to kind of kill her. When really, like, I mean, it wasn't like a mauling. He just like sort of like a vampire would bite another person, but she just like, I'm dead.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
So, what are some of your favorite things about the film, and what's some of your negative things about the film?
Basically, I like the look of it. I like the time period. I like I'm glad it like came to more modern, even though it didn't look like modern, even though it was in the modern. The only time it was modern is when they're by the pool.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, I like the look of it. I do like that werewolf look. The transformation was cool, like a throwback. Um, the women were good looking. There was some nudity in it. The girl bending over and washing her boobs, I was like, whoa. Okay, I had to rewind it. I'm like, well, I had to miss that a little bit.
I had to rewind.
I had to rewind it. Those are some nice titties. But
instead of fast forwarding so the kids don't see, like, I got
they weren't in the room. The one where she's hanging upside down naked, Lorenzo was standing here and I was covering the thing, and I go,
oh no,
look away. And he's like, he didn't want to. And I'm like, no, you got to look away. And then I had to like,
if they have a chance to see boobies on screen, they're gonna do it.
Oh yeah, he's my kid.
Yeah,
but
he's like, have you ever like just had them come in there and like go through your DVDs and say, let's check out this one and see what's in this?
Well, I mean, you saw how that other room was. I'm sure they looked at them, but they never really asked me about them. Like, oh, there's Deadpool. You have Deadpool on Blu-ray, like that. But they don't like point out like, any adult.
They don't know any better about some of the other films.
No. But
it's like we don't show you Return of the Living Dead. We can't do that.
No, they did kind of watch Night of the Living Dead in the 90s version. So, kind of. The closest they got to a horror movie is Freaks from the 30s. Yeah. So, I'm working them up,
Getting there, yeah.
Yeah.
How old are they now?
Lorenzo is going to be 6, and Gio just turned 11.
Okay, yeah. So Gio's getting there closer, but the other one's got to wait a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, we're in due time. But yeah, I like that stuff. But the stuff I didn't like I said, the pacing after a while got slow. Some things were a little confusing. Like why is she in the light, and then later on they just pour blood on the coffin, and she gets up and she's normal again. I don't know. But then when she died, she's turned back into like a shredded, like looking thing.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the thing too with the first film as well. Like I think it had more to do with just how they were shooting the film, because even in the first film, when you had vampires, it was supposed to be nighttime, but it still kind of looked like it was daytime. So it was almost like dusk.
Yeah.
So there wasn't like, I guess because they were worried the actors would hurt themselves if it was too dark. So they just basically kind of kept it light so you can see what's going on and stuff like that. I think that kind of is the same thing here. It's like, yeah, we don't have enough money for the light, so we're just going to keep it sort of daylight so we can pretend it's dark.
Right. Why don't they have
All
like
right.
a reversal where vampires come out in the daylight and they can't go in the dark?
Yeah. Yeah. So let's do our ghoul ratings.
Oh, okay.
Where are you at?
Oh, I'm giving this one, I'm gonna give it like a 5. Yeah. The opposite of the other one.
I think this is his revenge.
No. I didn't want you to think that because I gave 5. Like I just thought it was okay. It's in the
I hear
middle.
you.
It's right in the middle.
Yeah, I hear you. I give it an 8. I do like some of the stylized part of it. It is lacking in story a little bit, but it's really kind of a surprise because, like I said, I don't generally like these type of werewolf films because I don't like the look of the werewolf, but I do enjoy the actresses, and this was especially good with the blood and stuff. I was kind of surprised it had that much blood in it, to be honest. Like I was not expecting that when I saw it, so it's pretty happy about that overall. It's tamed by some other comparisons, but certainly I was pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
So have you figured out what your next pick is?
No, I was looking.
Now, you did mention something, but we'll talk about that offline. Something you were telling about the other day, earlier.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. So I don't know. You haven't got the other one up yet, have you?
No, it's almost done being edited. It'll be up probably tonight, though. If not tonight, early in the morning.
I'll wait till yours goes up before I post mine.
It's okay.
All right. Well, got anything coming up outside of this?
Nope. I mean, yeah, we kind of have the same things almost. We got Point Break on Friday, Ghouls, during the month, and then the 21st is your birthday episode.
Mm-hmm.
And there's other things that is going on that you're involved in.
Yeah. So tomorrow there's a couple things going on. One will be I'm going to be doing my top 10 John Hughes films list rankings. Then later in the evening, as long as Neko's still up to it, we're going to do a review of the Gabby Petito documentary that we watched.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Is that on Hulu? Or, I mean, Amazon?
It's on Netflix, actually, right now.
Netflix, okay.
Yeah. Friday, obviously, Point Break with Kevin Lambert. Then later, he's doing a Q&A where we're going to be talking about our favorite heroes and villains from films. Then I'll have like a watch party for Escape from New York because we'll be reviewing that on Saturday evening on Silver Screen Savants. And as you said, we got the Versus on the 21st, and then also next Friday is Lambert's Into the Darkness, where we're doing the Basket Case franchise. And so that's pretty much it right now. I did have to move my King Kong spotlight because Alvin just got his computer and it wasn't quite set up yet, and he doesn't want to use this crappy laptop right now. So that's going to be happening on Sunday. So I didn't get to do that today, but I put in my Cobra Kai review and did that instead. So
cool.
So yes, for those that watch this, please like and subscribe, and please go like and subscribe to Mr. Tony the Dead. What'd you think? Have you seen this film? Give us your thoughts. We always like to hear feedback. And that's it, man. This is it. This is the evening. So we will see you next time on the Mealtime Radio podcast, and take care of yourselves.
You see me for